How's it going, guys? Today we're going over Halloween Kills and see if it's still or is still mid till this day. Let's go. So we open up the movie with Cameron walking and he tried to get a hold of Oscar. But then during this time he cuts to Oscar impaled. And then he tells him about how he fucked up off Allison. And then this instance he finds Officers Hawking and he's alive. He's alive and it tells him like he must die. Cameron's like confused as hell, like who are we talking about, right? And so then it cuts to Officer Hawkins on the job of the year 1978, basically taking place after the first movie. He's chasing Michael Myers. His partner talks about his relationship with Michael as buddies because his mom or his parents made him go hang out with Michael because Michael's kind of a loner. And then it cuts to Lonnie getting bullied by the Mulaney's. These fucks will come up later in the next movie. And then Lonnie bumps into Michael, and they stumble upon the Myers house, the officers. And let's keep the record straight. I watched the extended cut of this film because I didn't have the original the original cut of it. So I watched more than I had to, and so then I'm not putting the extra things in this thing because it didn't make sense for you guys because you guys probably didn't watch it, and I'm the one who's like, you didn't see that in the movie, but so anyways, inside investigating the house, by the way, they find a dead dog, and they hear a noise upstairs. It has to be Michael, right? So then they go upstairs, investigate. Pete, who is Hawkins' partner at the time, looks at the window the same window that Michael's always looks out in. And then he gets ambushed by him. With intense pressure on his shoulders, Hawkins shoots his partner in the throat. And then there he lies in his blood, dying to death, and then hoping for the best that they got Michael. Loomis stops Michael in this process and asks Hawkins if anything happened with the shooting, or what happened, like literally what happened right there and then. And Hawkins just looking at him is like, and Loomis is like, has Michael killed again? And then it comes to a title card. And then we have recurring characters come back into place. We love to see this. We have an open mic, and there's the nurse and the doctor that we saw from the last movie, when Michael is like going through the neighborhood, and he's like, oh, I forgot my stethoscope. Those guys. And so basically, they become our main side characters for the evening. The bartender constantly tells the doctor the entire Michael Myers lore at this point because they know little of it. And then we have Tommy as a character coming back, not that traditional actor, which kind of sucks, but you get what you get. We get Tommy going up to the mic, and he starts to tell the story of 1978, his tragic survival, or and tell the lore as well. He breaks down all the victims he's with that evening. He's with Lindsay, the girl that he was living next door to. Nurse Chambers, the nurse who got attacked at Smith Groves in '78, and Lonnie, the kid who picked on Tommy and got bullied by the ladies in the earlier sequence. Uh, and then they kind of give a toast to Lori, who gets a toast to Lori to see wherever she is, and it cuts to the big cup truck. Um, and then we see firefighters go into the burning house, and then Lori and everyone else is like, don't stop, whatever. You like, let it burn. So then they make an attempt to blow out the fire. They summon two of them goes in. One of them hit the floor of the basement, and then Michael kills them. And when requesting like some backup, the other guy can't really see him. He puts his hand down and stuff, and then instead of his partner, Michael Myers drags him down and kills him. And then it cuts to outside of the house where Michael Myers is awesomely coming out of the house and blazing. It's so fire how he does this, bro. And they're all like shocked that this guy is still alive, So then they try to hose him down at first, but that doesn't work at all because water pressure don't work on Michael Myers. So then he wants every single fireman there, and basically kills them all. And then it goes to cuts to Lori going to the hospital, and then Karen and Allison on a staircase talking about basically like what's been happening basically since the last movie, which is not that long because it takes place the same night and the same year and the same day that it all went down last movie, despite having a different release date, by the way. And then it cuts to Laurie's neighbor, Sandra, and her husband. Yes, Sandra. I told you about the last video, last episode video, whatever I want to call it, yesterday's video, and told, well, think about that black person. Well, this is this black person we saw in the summer series. Her name is Sandra, and we figured out she's Laurie's neighbor, and she's married, and they're playing with a drone, and then she kind of crashes the drone into a wall, and it's like, oh, this fucking bunch of piece of shit, malarkey, whatever. So then her husband goes to the bathroom where it is, and instead of getting the drone, he sees Michael Myers. And then, out of panic, he's like, call the cops, and then he gets his head bashed multiple times, and then Sandra ends up getting stabbed in the kitchen in her throat. Not leaving her for dead because spoiler alert, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but she comes back in the third movie. Kind of crazy. But then Michael tries to find the perfect knife, so he thinks her husband, puts it on the countertop, and just keeps stabbing him. Just keeps stabbing him so he gets the right knife, or just out of knives, basically, in this kitchen. And then we have Cameron phoning Lonnie, who's still at the bar, saying he's talking about Hawkins, how he needs help, assistance, some medical attention. And then the whole news breakout on the TV phones notifications of everybody saying that Michael Myers' killings are very true and very alive. And then Marcus the doctor and his wife goes outside, try to leave, but then they think it's Michael Myers in their car. But probably did this to make the same joke again with Marcus forgetting his stethoscope, and so he goes back into it again. Marcus. And then Tommy comes out with Mr. Oh Huckleberry, which is a bat that the bartender had from his father, I think. And so Tommy smashes the car. The car drives off and crashes, and then we figure out that it's not Michael Myers, but it's one of the inmates that was also with him in the same facility with him. We saw in the first movie with the umbrella. He's back, and everyone has an eyes on him because they think it's Michael Myers, even though it's not. Um, his story is kind of sad, honestly. So then it cuts to the modern Myers house, with the best characters in the entire trilogy. I think from a long shot, we get a cut of the Myers house, someone playing "Stop, Look, and Listen," and it's a gay couple living in it, Big John and Little John. And it's funny because Big John is the shorter person and Little John's the taller person. But I think this is pretty much for dick size only. Um, uh, and then I'm gonna call these little kids little shits because they tricked them for more candy to empty the entire bowl of candy of their house, and they kind of break it down for them like, you know what house this was living in before, or what kind of house this is. It's Mike Myers' house. They came in, and they break down the laws for the kids, and they scared them off. And I don't know why, but Big John calls them "you little perverts." It's kind of funny. You see why I love these guys. And then we got a cut to Allison and Cameron checking up on Lori, seeing everything's fine. And then the cops come to the hospital and then interrogate them both and tell them basically like, Myers is still alive. And they're like, what? It can't be. And then Cameron comes back to see, checks up on Allison, and she's doing okay. Not really doing boyfriend stuff, but just there as a friend, a motivated friend, you know. But Allison gets in a fight with her mom, saying because her mom wants her to stay because she thinks Michael Myers is gonna come after Lori. It's after Lori, of all people, right? But then no, they're gonna decide to hunt them down. But Kara doesn't allow this for her daughter, so then she makes her stay with Lori. Meanwhile, when Allison does stay with Lori, Karen is doing basically the most scary things you do nowadays. It's so mind-boggling how pop culture it is in this movie. It's crazy. Then we see Allison take the knife that she used to stab Michael in the first movie at the end, and she gives it to Lori whenever she needs it, and then leaves with Cameron. Tommy pulls up to a bunch of people and tell them the rundown. Like how is this gonna break it down? Lindsay investigates the park with Nurse Chambers, Marcus, and his wife. Which is kind of funny because the wife says that she's a doctor and Marcus is actually a nurse, but they're actually cosplaying the opposite. You get it. So then they kind of investigated the little shits we saw earlier, and then they're like, there's a boogie, there's a guy saying they're playing hide and seek with them, but in reality they basically just killed their friend. Crazy. They run off, and then Lindsay gathers up rocks. Michael goes after them. There's Chambers, which does end up getting killed in the process. He does stab Marcus through his eye, and then he deflects a bullet shot towards his wife, which is crazy. And then Lindsay comes out swinging with the sack of rocks, and then she dips and escapes his wrath. And so then after that, Lori becomes or she starts to wake up. Karen is there to find out as well that Allison is not there. She's actually with Cameron. Crazy. Allison finds out more about her father Ray throughout Lonnie's connection because they're two best friends, and they told him about the old story when Ray told him like used to like sell him like this particular drug, and then Lonnie brings that back up again. It was kind of a heartwarming moment for Allison to know more about her father. And then Tommy pulls up to the park. uh, with Lonnie, Allison, and Cameron, and so basically telling like, this is Lindsay's car. Where's everybody else? They find all the dead bodies except for Lindsay, who is basically near a lake, and she's like, she's scared, she's terrified, all of this. And then Lori catches up things with Frank Hawkins, the officer. He's officially in the room with her this time, now waking up. Um, the hospital does go under lockdown, which makes people kind of mad. The folk in Haddonfield, they gotta get rallied up. They gotta rally up. And they kind of like protest against the police because they're not really doing their job of catching this particular killer. Lori uses painkillers to wear off the pain for now, because she thinks that Michael's going after her, so she must get prepared. Even though she's kind of realizing that Michael is still alive, because Karen wanted to keep it a secret, saying like, she's still dead, but gotta do what you gotta do. And then we get a cut to Little John and Big John again. This time hearing a louder noise at the door. They think it's the kids again, but it turns out it's not. So Little John checks the back door, no one's there. Big John checks the front door. He does a little bit of foreshadowing. He was like, next time I'll use this like rake and stab you with it. And then Little John checks again with the back door, but this time it's now opened and there's someone in the house. So then Little John takes a big knife, and then Big John takes a little knife. you gotta love these people, man. But before we say anything else with them, we cut back to the hospital, where we follow a POV first-person shot of the guy, the inmate that we saw earlier, with the umbrella going into the hospital, telling everybody that he needs some medical emergency or try to help him. But they think it's Michael, and so then everyone's like, evil Dashinai, and they kind of chase him through the hospital. Karen tries to befriend this person. And then we have a cut back to Big John getting stabbed in the fucking armpit and get his eyes sucked out of his sockets with Michael Myers' thumbs. And then Little John finds his body, and then he sees Michael staring at the window that he always stares at, and he's like, Michael, you came home, and basically kills him off camera. Lori and Karen says it's not Michael, but no one wanted to listen. We have a glimpse of Oscar's mom in the hospital, looking at the morgue area, and she sees Oscar there. She screams in agony. Yes, you can feel. Lori always had doubts about Michael. But Hawkins tells her his story, that he was the main problem. He should have killed Michael back in '78, but then he has the innocent mindset of that's someone's younger son, boy, do you want to kill an innocent, having some sympathy with the man, and then Karen helps the person, the umbrella guy. I don't know his name really. I'm gonna call him the inmate. Like isolate himself, so they lock all the doors that enters to where he gets to him. Everyone's super angry, and the hatred gets up to him. So he takes a fire hose, like when you spray the smoke out. I don't know what really they call it. I'm just dumb. Anyways, he takes that, smashes the window, and then everyone on the floor sees that, and then he jumps off of it, committing suicide. This is the most gruesome thing ever. Well, at least the aftermath is. Haddonfield people are not feeling shit for this, because they now know it's not Michael, and Officer Brackett, who makes an amazing comeback in this movie. He's like, nah, he's turning making us all into monsters. We're killing innocents because we think it's better for us, or it's like less danger in the world. And then in between parts, we see um young Officer Hawkins giving like the, you know, what's gonna happen basically. It's gonna say it's an accident. He shot himself while killing Michael, and then you had nothing to do with it. So basically, like off the hook, even though feeling really guilty about it. And then this cuts to Lonnie giving the breakdown to Allison and Cameron at outside the Myers house. Um, how everything's gonna go down. He proceeds to leave and investigate the Myers house himself. A shot goes off. Allison and Cameron are like, let's get the fuck in there, you know. So then they investigate, they go through the rooms, they go upstairs, they find Big John and Little John framed the same way how their pictures framed right above how they're laid next to the dead. Michael is an artist by heart. Karen finds his dad on the attic floor where his body is just showing and his blood is just leaking, and this engages Michael to ambush Cameron when he's not looking. Cameron gets stabbed. Allison gets her head smashed a little bit and gets pushed down the stairs, breaking her leg. And then Cameron puts his big boy pants on and gets let's just say his hands gets crushed. His whole head goes through the staircase fence and getting his throat stabbed up and down through the wooden fence railings. Michael kind of finishes him off while going downstairs with a little head snap, head twist, what you want to call it. Ending his line. Karen stabs Michael with the pitchfork that Big John mentioned earlier, where he stabs Michael in the back with it because Allison says, do it, you know, because about to kill her, and then it's like, Karen's like, you know, got you, bitch. She takes his mask and runs off with it because, you know, Michael's gonna go after that fucking mask no matter what because, you know, it hides his true identity. And well, this is a trap on her, which I'd love to see in her character again because she did in the first movie. She also she traps somebody. It's in her blood. She traps him surrounding with Tommy's crew that he did group up with in the entire movie. And they basically beat him the fuck up. They also try shooting him, by the way. Karen does get the last laugh. She stabs him, and then she goes off. Laurie monologues about this moment. Basically, she's also foreshadowing the outcome of this entire sequence. He stands back up and literally killed the entire group, including Tommy. Once again, the extended cut, it's a more extra footage, but it's super worth, you know. It's more gruesome, by the way. So Karen goes back to the Myers house to condole Allison. She looks up the sister's bedroom where Judith was killed, where always Michael always looks out in his reflection. He sees a younger Michael, and she goes up there and see her reflection through that window. Little does she know, Michael repeats the same outcome how he killed Judith, but now with Karen. Slash in the first person POV. You gotta love it. And then we see Laurie and Michael stare down, not in the same room, but just like, you know, filmmaking, just like pan together while Michael has the last screen time. And then it ends after that. But in the extended cut, we have a phone call where Michael picks up. And then it's like Laurie. It's like, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. She walks out the hospital like she did in the trailer, which we never saw in the movie because he did it for the extended cut. And then the movie ends like that. Now it's the pros and cons portion of this video, and basically what I think about this video of this movie entirely, and if it holds up or is it still moderately mid. So to start off with the pros, it has the best of kills, the bestest of kills. Every kill is so worth watching, and they don't hold back. It's amazing. That's pretty much the goal of this was, and it's the most highest kill count ever recorded in a Halloween franchise up to date. I also love the relationships with the characters that fitted well in this movie. It does bring a lot of enjoyment in this, and I love to see the recurring cast members come back for more screen time because I just love to see more people come back from the original and how they're doing, you know. Which brings me to the cons. The story lacks a lot. Like didn't have the same crispy story remake in the first 2018 film. It kind of this is more like a side quest, if anything. It felt more like that. Um, which makes it makes me seem like that because Lori is not a lot. It's not in this movie as much anymore. She's injured. She's recovering. She's not involved in this engagement no more. Which kind of doesn't make it bad. It just makes it more. It's having her basically not there. It's not really a Halloween film. It feels more like a seasonal witch type of side quest movie, side mission, like a side movie basically, not like a real movie. We like to see. It's too political, too like the protesting and pop culture. It's too much. It's too much referencing what's really happening in the real world, and I don't like that because it's supposed to be a fictional movie. But once again, I feel like the script got like screwed up between COVID times, so it's they had to do something real. You gotta redo it, But it's too much. It's too political. And also, it's the time period. It takes place the same day, the same night. It's weird because why, you know? We don't even see sunlight. It's like how long are these hours? Um, I just don't believe that, you know. And to end this off, it keeps us leaving us to want more of this showdown. It makes us want more of this film. Like it feels unfinished in so many ways that could have been much greater than the outcome we got. I guess the lead up to this, or at least to the ending for the trilogy, kind of fails because it's like this supposed to be the lead up, but then it kind of fails off the hype train a little bit, and it doesn't really fit all that well really in this part. I remember watching this and I enjoyed it because all the kills was great. I was all great, but I really hate the story because it's not really involving as much as I wanted to, and that's why I'm kind of makes it more mediocre at best. It makes it more it's not a great movie, it's not a bad movie. It's right in between. It's kind of mid. But does it still hold up to that mediocre status? Yes, it does definitely. I think it's spot on where it's standing at. I think it has some work to do. It has something more to uncover than what we actually got. Um, but if anything, if the extended cut was the actual feature film, it honestly would have been a better storytelling movie because there's a lot of plot holes going throughout. But other than that, that's the storytelling kind of just lacks on that aspect of it, which is kind of disappointing because we had this strong introduction again in 2018, but now it kind of let down the sequel, um, which makes it more of a letdown of Halloween Ends, which most people didn't really like, which I will talk tomorrow about. That's the really more controversial video aside of these last two. So hope you guys thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. But yeah, that's how I feel. That's what I stand on. So yeah, take care.